Jerry. Pleasure having you, sir.
Castor, good seeing you.
Likewise, likewise. So where you been at the last 5 years?
I've been retired. I can't believe I've been retired so long, but I'm finally getting used to it.
Yeah.
It's nice not having something to do. It's nice doing something you want. Having said that, of course, between my son and my daughter, my grandkids, they keep me running. And
Sure. How many grandkids you have now?
I've got four.
Four? How's Sue doing?
My oldest is 22 in college.
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened, but it's hard to.
Oldest grandson? Yeah, grandchild?
My oldest grandson.
Okay.
I've got three grandsons and a granddaughter.
Wow. Okay.
And I said two of them in college. One's a senior in high school. It just, I don't know.
Almost my age.
It's just
Okay.
it's incredible how that.
Yeah. No,
all of
time
a sudden,
flies, man.
all of a sudden they were, unruly grandkids, and now they're college bound, and
Yeah.
we don't see them as much anymore. But
Your wife's okay?
that's what happens. Knock wood, she's fine. Everybody's fine.
Nice.
Everybody's doing well.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Everybody's doing well.
Yeah. No, it's been working on my side, just trying to grow and keep it growing.
I can't keep up with you. It's incredible. You were telling me earlier what you're involved in, and it was making me tired. I had to sit down.
Yeah, I just also joined the MDPCI board as well, part of the mentoring committee.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you know Brian Dorsey.
I don't know that
You
name.
know Brendan Sullivan.
Yes.
Yep. So those guys. Yep,
I know
so,
Brendan.
Yep. So,
I could do 20 minutes on Brendan.
Yeah. No, Brendan's
Maybe I could do maybe 2 hours on Brendan.
No, Brendan's awesome.
He is. He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, for sure.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah. So we're gonna be going out to SEMA with those guys and everything this year, doing all that stuff.
Is Chris Schmidt still involved in it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
No. So a lot of new faces, a lot of newer franchisees. The organization lost a lot of franchisees, and what I mean by that, there used to be like 500 something total franchisees, over 900 locations. Now there's probably only like 300 or something franchisees, and still the same locations, if not more. And a lot of that is because a lot of bigger organizations are carrying more locations now.
Yes.
So they have a lot of bigger groups buying people out. People like myself that have, going on 13 locations. They have other groups that have 27 now. There's another group out here that I think has 18 locations. So, it's in the last 5 years, a lot has changed.
Back in the day, it was unusual for somebody to have one or two or three, not one or two, have two or more locations.
Yeah.
And that was by design. The previous administration of Meineke, their business model was that the guy has a store, wife does the books, husband runs the store, and does a nice job. And expansion wasn't the business model then. It was to keep it small, keep it organized, and that just doesn't work.
Right. I think a lot of that has to do with generations as well.
That too,
I think,
sure.
I think the older generations, the husband and wife definitely worked. And I think in any retail, business, not even just automotive, everybody had that Bonnie and Clyde situation. And now it's a lot harder to find that.
I agree.
There's a lot of times when I want to fire my brother. So he's like, we're like two peas in a pod, and granted we have our moments, but it still works. It's great.
Sure.
But it's a lot different with our generation versus what it used to be. I think that's why a lot of it's changed to that. More of a family atmosphere, but still has that corporate structure. And continuing to grow, adding the people in the HQ, adding people in the back office, adding your staff that you have that you can kind of delegate the work to. So this way you're not just that husband and wife and trying to go crazy when you get home and still remembering about work and can never shut off,
Sure. Well, again,
I'm sure you've been there.
Yes, I have. Once again, the previous administration for Meineke back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, it was that mom and pop type of thing. In fact, Ken Walker ran the company like he was everybody's grandfather or father. He knew all the franchisees. He would send us birthday wishes, anniversary wishes. He was one-on-one with a lot of franchisees. That's just the kind of guy he was.
No, a lot of people liked him. He actually just came to the last convention, like a couple
He's
of
just a
conventions ago.
wonderful man. Got to know him pretty well. As time goes on, private equity companies are gobbling up, and so the private equity company buys Driven Brands, which
Right.
owned Meineke, Mako, and Econoloop. That was it. Harvest Partners comes in and just changes everything. Cleaned house up on the 9th floor, got rid of, I don't know, 60, 70% of the people that worked there,
Yep.
and just changed everything and brought it into the next generation and ran it like a fast food business model where one franchisee owns many stores.
Right.
If you think about it, a franchisor would just as soon deal with one guy that owns 10 stores as opposed to 10 franchisees that own 10 stores.
Right.
And so they promoted multi-unit operation, which was, it was there, but it was never promoted. And that's been beneficial in most cases. In some cases, some franchisees went ahead and bought a second store, third store that didn't have that multi-store acumen. They just didn't know how to run more than one store.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And some of those guys were
failed.
good at the one store, maybe the two, and then once they started growing, I think the bigger you are, definitely the harder you fall. And if you can't manage it like a lot of these guys do, then you're
Yeah, exactly.
Have that big burden.
The old saying is it's easy to run one store. It's tough to run 2 or 3, but it's easier to run 4, 5, 6, or 7.
Right.
Now you've got the cash flow to justify hiring a GM, a couple of managers that oversee the stores, so it's manageable. But 2 or 3 stores, they're tough.
Right. Yeah. Now, so how would you say Dunkin Donuts, because you've owned some Dunkin Donuts franchises,
Yeah.
would differ from Meineke?
Oh my God, that's a
As a
great question.
franchisor.
That's a great question. Ken Walker asked me that after I was involved in it. He was very curious to know what the difference was, and initially, when somebody came into my donut shop, they were happy, and they bought a dozen donuts and some coffee, and they left. They were happier. Conversely, when they came to Meineke, they're not happy.
Right.
Because something's broken, okay? And when they left, they were less happy because they're out $100 or $1,000 or whatever.
Sure.
And their car, it runs, but it ran before, so they're really not ahead of the game. That's the biggest difference. The other difference is when somebody came to Dunkin', they told me what they wanted. They want a dozen donuts, they want this kind, that kind, this kind, they want 2 coffees, or da. When the average customer comes to Meineke, we tell them what they want.
Right.
They don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, they're coming in blind.
Exactly.
You're having
So
to
they come in
believe.
for an oil change, and you find that it's metal to metal on the brakes, the pan is leaking, tires are bald, and all the other things that you find. So they come in expecting to spend $80, $90 for an oil change, and now you're giving them an estimate for $1,500.
Right.
So they're either pissed, shocked,
Sure.
whatever,
Yeah, no,
but they're not
definitely
happy.
Sure,
Okay.
definitely a lot different than selling donuts.
Yeah.
When people come in, they're coming in. It's an inconvenience, I always say, the automotive industry.
Yeah,
It's an
they're coming in
inconvenience
because
my
they-
car broke down. Like, I'm on the way to work. I don't want to pull over, you know what I mean? Or I want to
They're
go to
there.
the beach. And,
They're there because they have to be
right.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
At Dunkin', they came because they want to be there.
Right.
And I saw them 3, 4, 5 times a week. You see your customers 3, 4 times a year, if you're lucky.
Right.
So there are vast differences. Let me tell you what's similar. There's a saying that retail would be great if it wasn't for employees and customers. You take those 2 elements out, and it's a great business model. You spoil your customers, you spoil your help. If you can do that, you'll be successful. And I know you've done that.
Definitely. Yeah, you take care of your employees, and they shine on your customers.
It was easy for me to figure that out. It's not easy for a lot of people that buy a business to figure that out.
Right.
You have to have that retail mentality. the customers are what pays the employee's salary, not the owner. The customer does. When I sold my Meineke, the guy was a good guy. He had a lot to learn about retail. Smart guy. I don't want to flatter him too much because he knows who he is. But smart guy, didn't know retail, but smart enough to figure it out. And one of the things he said to me after a while, he says, "You spoiled your help." I said, "Yeah, because they're making money for you.
Sure.
You want happy employees. You buy them lunch on Saturdays. You give them time off. You lend them a couple of dollars if they're short. You listen to their sob stories. You get involved with them. You don't want to be their friend, but you don't want to be their enemy. You don't want to have such a separation between you and your employees where they feel it's okay to steal from you because you're making all this money and you're not a nice man. I don't like you, that kind of thing. So spoiling your help, as I said, and spoiling customers worked for me.
Welcome to the Meineke Car Care Center on Beatty's Ford. We're excited to bring our top-tier auto service right here to this community. Here at our Beatty's Ford location, we've got 7 fully operational bays ready to handle all your vehicle needs. So whether it's routine maintenance or more complex repairs, we've got you covered quickly and efficiently. Come see us today and discover why our expertise and service make all the difference.
I can totally agree with that, and that's kind of how we thrive.
I can see that.
Yeah, our employee count has definitely grew in the last, even year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're a little over the 100 employee mark, and when my dad was around, I think we had maybe 30 employees total, including ourselves. So it's a lot different. How would you say the franchisors differentiated?
Oh. From when I first came aboard, you mean?
From
Dunkin and Meineke
to Meineke.
Oh gosh.
What are some big differences? I know you had mentioned that with Dunkin Donuts they make you kind of purchase everything from Dunkin. Is that
That's not that's the unique thing about Dunkin was. That's a good question. The unique thing about Dunkin was the franchisees owned the warehouse. Mm-hmm. They own the distribution center.
Okay.
So when you become a Dunkin franchisee, you buy in, you pay to get into that co-op.
Okay.
It's called a DCP, distribution something. So you're part owner. We hire a general manager to run those distribution centers all across the country. We pay the drivers. We pay the rent on the building. We have buyers. When I say we, I keep saying we. As a Dunkin franchisee, buyers go to Pillsbury and Domino, the people that make sugar.
Yep.
But they buy it all. So the franchisees own that. And at the end of the year, we get a dividend check if it makes money because we're buying from our own co-op.
Okay.
We don't buy from Dunkin. Dunkin doesn't sell anything but licenses.
Gotcha. All right.
That's it. At Meineke, AutoZone, Advance, O'Reilly, yada yada, CarQuest, we're buying from all different people. The other difference, and you didn't ask this, but the other difference with Meineke and Dunkin is you're working on Toyotas and Hondas and Fords and Chevys and 89s and 99s and 2000s and different models of those, thousands of different variations. With Dunkin, I had a donut
right.
and coffee and little variations from there.
What would a thriving Dunkin Donuts do a year?
In
over $1 million?
In 1982, when I bought my store, there was a store in Glen Burnie doing a little over $1 million, and everybody was
and
just
donuts and coffee.
And everybody was just, how $1 million? Now, if you're not doing $1 million, you're not making any money.
Sure. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, a dozen donuts was $3.
Sure.
Coffee was 49 cents. So just the scale of money is different now. But yeah, back then you could make a lot of. If you're doing $1 million in a Dunkin', your profit margin was very high. because you're manufacturing what you sell. You don't make the carburetor that you sell.
Right.
You buy it from somebody. So we made what we sold. So our food cost was 15%. Your parts costs, if I recall, were like, 20-25%.
Way higher now.
Oh, it is?
Way higher now.
Oh.
Yeah, I would say it's probably double. And now with today's society, and with tariffs and kind of everything that's going on with today's world, it's only going to go up.
Wow, that's amazing.
You see, like Advanced Auto Parts close a lot of their struggling stores, a lot of their stores that kind of they're like one-offs. Same thing with Monroe. Monroe closed a lot of their one-offs. Tire Hub, Mr. Tire, things like that across the nation. And that's just trying to cut costs to be able to adapt to what's coming. I don't think that costs are ever going to go down. I think this is like the new floor, and then from here on out, another 10 years from now, where are we going to be? Is it going to be a little bit more? Is it going to be 10%, 10%, 10%? Because if that's the case, it's going to be insane. And I don't think that has anything to do with administration or anything like that. I think it just has to do with the way that the world is changing overall. No matter where you go, in Europe, Russia, right, the U.S., Aruba, everybody's costs are increasing, and that's just supply and demand.
I certainly they're not going to go down, but I think the current administration is creating a faster increase, where it was you could see an increase 6 months, 8 months down the road. Now you're seeing it 30 days.
Definitely.
Buy the part today because you don't know what it's going to cost next month.
Right.
So I think that's different. That's going to affect estimates. You give an estimate to a customer and they come back a month later. That part's 10% more.
It's
that's going to be. Well, it used to be the when we would visit struggling stores, we would say, listen, here's your benchmark is 25% labor, 25% cost of goods.
Right. There was a metric. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's sporadic. Like nobody knows what the metric is. It's more like, what's your metric? All right, let me go check with this guy. All right, Paul, what's your metric? All right, let me go check with John over there. John, what's your metric? All right, now what's the average?
Really?
And they're trying to figure that probably every 6 months, because things are changing rapidly. The industry's so crazy right now. Nobody really knows what a good floor should be. So we go out and we mentor. We try to figure out where people are at, and also explain kind of where we're at. Being such a large organization, because they see us thriving. They're like, all right, so if this guy is thriving and he's able to open stores, then I need to kind of be around that realm. And then if I can do better, great. But he's doing good, so I need to kind of watch those numbers and see if I can get my numbers kind of in the same type of area, because either they're too high or they're not enough, or whatever the case is. There's a lot of good franchisees out there now that have a lot of potential that aren't utilizing it. Whether it's the finance programs, whether it's other vendors that are bringing customers. We just launched Groupon. A lot of people hate it, right? A lot of people say that it brings a lot of upset customers because of the scheduling issues and a lot of the things that Groupon promises that aren't being delivered. And we're working to improve that. We're actually trying to integrate Groupon with our POS system, so it's just a little bit more flawless.
Okay.
But Groupon brings a lot of customers. Their marketing for the oil changes is superior.
The pushback on Groupon was that it brings in the bottom feeders.
It does,
and it does, and yes,
and
it does do
bottom
that.
Feeders, because and that's what everybody's saying. And I wouldn't really say bottom feeders as customers. I would say more along the lines of customers that expected value.
Okay, that's a nice way of putting it.
It's like a Walmart
value-seeking customers, not bottom feeders.
Yeah, and it's like a Walmart customer, right? When you go to Walmart, you want AN1 shorts versus you go to the outlets and you want Jordan shorts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
you can go to the dealership and you could pay $140 for the same oil change, and they might get you in and out a little bit quicker. Or you can come here. We're going to be able to get you that discounted rate. Maybe it will take a little bit longer just because we have so many of them. The dealership's not seeing that many oil changes as we are. But we're still going to be able to give you that free health inspection. We're
Yeah.
still going to be able to offer you things that the dealership can't.
Well, the dealerships have learned about oil changes and the whole idea about discounting an oil change to get the customers in. I would explain to franchisees that bristled over the $14.99 oil change that we had back in the day. And as a franchisee, I wasn't crazy about it, but I understood why it was done. Foot traffic. Some stores don't need a lot of foot traffic. They've got a good traffic count. Other stores are struggling, and you would talk to these. They're struggling, yet they complained about a low-cost oil change marketing plan. So, wait a minute. This is going to help you. We're going to bring customers to you.
Yeah,
it's what you do with those customers.
Definitely.
If you're pissed off because they want a $15 oil change and they don't want to buy anything else,
definitely,
you're not doing your job.
That's the way we look at it.
You're not doing your job.
Yeah, that's the way we look at it. We look at it as a lot of customers that we lost because they're going to Take 5, because they're going to Valvoline, because they're going to Mavis, because they're going to Walmart. And these customers are coming back because they see the value. And what are we doing to keep them? Like that's the thing, right? All right, so customer's upset because we missed our tire rotation. All right, that's our problem. You know what I mean? This customer's upset because we took too long. Okay, we need to get a little bit better. An hour and a half for an oil change? Yeah, that's a little long. So definitely, getting the feedback and improving on it. But I will say, we used to do 350 cars a week, at a one location. Now to do 150 cars is like, all right, like what is going on? Like,
what are we doing wrong?
I'm twiddling my thumbs right now. And a lot of these other guys think that that's busy, so it's, oh man, I did 50, 60 cars this week. I'm good. What do you mean? We have a store that's doing 150 cars, and they're behind, Well,
a lot of franchisees, and I dealt with them because I dealt with those franchisees that weren't doing well or didn't have good customer reviews, that they wouldn't treat oil change customers very well. They treated them as they were a nuisance.
Sure.
We had
I see that often.
Yeah, we had a lot of maybe not a lot, but more than we prefer as a corporate guy, more franchisees that did not accept coupons. And nothing pisses off a customer more than they plan their day to come in to get an oil change. It's not an in and out like a coffee and donut. Yep. You're going to be there for a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, only to be told, no, we don't accept that.
Right. And they already have it planned, or whatever they brought.
Not only will you never see that person again, you will never see that person's friends again.
Right.
Because that person will do all they can to make sure that nobody goes there.
I mean, we get people all the time that's like, hey, I got a Midas coupon. I'm like, okay. They're like, can you use it? I'm like, we're not Midas, but we can figure it out. We can try to price match it. We can do that.
I did the same thing.
Now,
I did the exact same thing. Yeah.
You ended up here for a reason.
Exactly.
God put you here for a reason. Let's figure this out.
Exactly. Yeah. No. It's very short-sighted to treat customers like the enemy or like a nuisance.
Definitely.
And that happens a lot.
Definitely. In any business.
Yes, true.
I would say in automotive, it does happen, but I mean, even in fast food restaurants, I mean, anything of that nature. I mean, you go to a restaurant. I mean, I went to a restaurant the other day where we weren't getting any type of look at. We're sitting there for 15 minutes. We're like, what is going on? And they're not busy. You got tables open. So it's, do we get up and leave? Like, how do we get their attention? And then we start waving at them like, hey, what's going on? And it's, hey, finally, now I'll do my job. It's customers pay your bills. Customers pay your employees. So to not engage with them and to not kind of understand where they're coming from, it's foul. You got to be engaged.
You can. The old saying is, in a restaurant business especially, you got people waiting at the hostess stand, whatever. A customer will wait 5 minutes and think that's a half an hour, but all you have to do is recognize that customer. I'll be with you in a second.
Yep. You
bought 15 minutes. Now they at least know that they're alive. In your business, you've got a line, people waiting. If nobody's behind the counter because they're busy doing something, not just lazy smoking a cigarette or whatever,
right.
All you do is recognize, hey, listen, we're running, I'll be with you in a second. You've bought another 15, 20 minutes.
We started with nothing, no money, no sponsors, just a toolbox and a dream that refused to die. Every long night in the garage, Every scraped knuckle and worn-out tire became part of a story built on grit, not glory. They said a team like ours couldn't make it in NASCAR, but we believed hard work could outpace horsepower. Brick by brick, we built something from the ground up, a team that proves heart can stand toe-to-toe with the giants. Now when we roll onto that track, it's not just about racing. It's about proving that you don't need to be born into greatness to build it yourself. This team is proof that starting small doesn't mean staying small, and we're just getting started.
No, definitely. It's just the little things.
It's amazing to me, and I dealt because of the position I was in with the company, helping struggling stores. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how many franchisees, in Dunkin as well, Dunkin had what they called a leadership committee, and they took certain franchisees, and the franchisees went to other franchisees to help them, as opposed to corporate guys.
Sure.
And it's amazing how you meet a person that second mortgaged their house to buy a Dunkin or a Meineke, and I used to say they become a spectator in their own business. You can't be a spectator in your business. No. You have to be involved. Yeah, and if you have to tell somebody that you have to smile and greet a customer, they should not be in this business.
Definitely. Yeah, if you have to twist somebody's arm and give them the old Indian road burn, as I say, to
exactly.
to get them to show up and be a part of the team, it's like, why are you here? Let's just move on now, so we don't waste each other's time. You go do what you want to do, and we're going to continue to thrive. So walk me through kind of what you did at Meineke Corporate. Like, what was your full position?
I wore a lot of hats. They didn't know what to do with me. Back up a little second. When I sold my store,
How many stores did you have?
I had one Meineke.
One Meineke. And how many Dunkin Donuts?
I had 6 Dunkins.
6 Dunkins.
6 Dunkins.
Up in New England?
No. I had 4 in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, okay.
1 in Salisbury.
I'm all over the place.
And 1 in Charlotte.
Oh, out here?
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize.
My first Dunkin was in Monticello, New York,
Gotcha.
upstate New York.
All right.
Yeah.
That's where you're originally from.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
And how did you get out to the Carolinas?
Originally from the Bronx.
Yep.
It's not a threat. It's just
no knife on you?
No. Originally from the Bronx. Yep. We moved, as people do in the Bronx, you move upstate and then upstate and upstate. Anyway, sold the store, moved to Charlotte to pursue a business deal, which was a mistake. While I'm down here, Dunkin calls and says, "Hey, how far are you from Salisbury?" It's about 30 miles. Bang. The store's closed. They terminated the license. The guy left, and they made me a hell of a deal, and I opened a store up.
Okay.
About 3 or 4 years go by, and they said, we got 4 stores in Myrtle Beach where the guy's struggling, he's going to close, and we'll make you a deal. Okay, I'll buy the 4 stores. Store in Charlotte, guy had 7 stores, closed them all, didn't know what to do with them, and I bought one of the stores. Every Dunkin I bought was either closed or bankrupt.
Wow.
Every Dunkin.
So are they hard to operate?
I didn't think so.
Okay.
Again.
Of the 2, Meineke would be the harder one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that would be just because of the
I think
the business?
Well, the hardest part with Dunkin back then was we had to make every donut we sold.
Okay.
So I had to have a day baker, I had to have a night baker. A night baker. What if the night baker doesn't... Yeah.
Okay.
Starts at 6, gets off, runs till about 2 or 3, about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Wow.
So if the night baker doesn't show up, I don't have any donuts to sell.
Wow.
That's the hard part. So
you can't buy them anywhere else because.
How many times did I get a phone call at midnight? Baker didn't show up. Okay, the baker. Why didn't you call me at 6? Okay,
Sure.
I got to get out of bed, drive up to Salisbury, or drive. I'd have to drive to Myrtle Beach. I had a commissary there, but that was the hardest part. Aside from that, Dunkin was easy.
Okay.
Again, just clean store, fresh product, happy employees. Boom, you're successful. Meineke, you got to have a clean store. You got to have good mechanics, but it's much tougher. That part is tougher. From what I said before, you're dealing with 9 different models, 20 years over. So it's much harder. It's much harder.
Sure. So walk me through your position.
Plus, I can eat donuts when I was.
What was your actual title name at Meineke Corporate?
I started off, believe it or not, as the auditor.
What year?
2004.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I sold the store. I sold the Meineke. I didn't have any plan. Joel Walker, who I became friends with, who was Ken Walker's son.
Yep.
He and I were buddies. We got to be buddies from owning the stores and playing golf and whatever. He was the vice president of operations for Econolube, which was a mess. So he said, I need help. I need you to go around the country and hire managers, do some training, get the stores up and running. We were co-branding the stores at the time too. Every Econolube had to be a Meineke. So every corporate-owned Econolube, and there were a lot of them, transitioned to Econolube Meineke or Meineke Econolube. So I helped them through that. That was a real challenge.
Yeah.
Ken Walker felt that he needed somebody in the company to handle struggling stores and stores that were stealing. Underreporting, I'm sorry, can't say stealing. Underreporting. So he hired me away from Joel, and I was the auditor. And I handled auditing stores and looking for mistakes that they were making and sending their fees in. That evolved into helping. I was the at-risk manager. That was the title. Mm-hmm. That then became compliance. Okay. So I was handling renewals. When your license expired, I got you to renew. I was handling leases that had expired. I would work with landlords to renew the lease, negotiate the lease so it's affordable for the franchisee.
So you would negotiate the lease for the franchisee?
Yeah.
You're hired.
Yeah.
I got a few of those. They don't do that anymore.
Negotiating with landlords was interesting. Once I got it, I understood.
As a corporate employee, you would negotiate on behalf of the franchisee? Or you would try to help out?
Officially, I can't do that.
Okay. But you were helping out?
I was helping.
Okay.
I was helping the tenant and the
I'm
landlord.
Ready to go back and be like, dude, I need help. I need you to take over all these leases.
I helped negotiate a deal between the tenant and the landlord.
All right.
I certainly could not negotiate a lease.
Sure. You were just in the middle.
Yeah.
I got you. I was like, dude, you're hired.
But I dealt with
You're
a
coming
lot
out of retirement now.
I dealt with. I enjoyed it. Landlords. I'm a landlord,
Sure.
so I know how they feel. One quick story. Some landlords are really bullheaded. I want this much money. The store can't afford it. Well, we're going to close the store. The guy's going to move across the street or down the road, and signage, and it's a purpose-built. So there was a store in New Jersey, doesn't matter where. And the guy was struggling, had health issues, and he was struggling. He was behind in rent, and the landlord was going to kick him out. And I said, well, all right, let me check with franchisees around the area, and I'll try to get somebody in there. It's beneficial to me. I got a commission every time I did that. And we didn't close the store. And that's how I was gauged by store closures. Nobody wanted to go in there. It was a good store, great location. Rent was ridiculously high. So I said to the landlord, I got two very good franchisees that will go in there and make that store work. But they want to pay this rent. Nope, I'm not going to do it. Okay. The store sat empty for a year. I get a phone call from his secretary, Gail, wonderful lady. Jack wants to know if you still have those franchisees. I said, tell Jack that he lost $2,000 a month for 12 months. I could have put somebody in there.
Wow. Yeah, that happens too often.
That happens. You'd be surprised how, say, bullheaded some landlords can be.
Yeah.
Not understanding.
It's almost like, would you rather have
half a loaf,
80% or zero?
The old saying is half a loaf is better than none.
Definitely.
So my approach to landlords is, listen, start the guy off here, do a 3%, 4% bump after so many, or let's talk about a percentage of sales, which I hate as a landlord or as a tenant. percentage of sales. But it's a way of when the store's not doing well, the rent is a little more affordable than if you're knocking them dead. You're doing 50, 60 grand a week, which you're probably doing that. But I don't know. I made that up. I know 10 grand a month was was great. So there maybe, but the point is, if you don't come to some agreement, the store is going to be empty.
Right.
I'll find somebody, but not tomorrow.
And it's more work. It's just more legwork. You got to post it up. You got to get somebody to get in there, contracts, all that.
So
stuff.
you try to reason with landlords. Some get it.
Some understand you can work with people. Some are stubborn and you can't work with them.
The toughest landlords to work with are the ones that have 15 locations.
Yep.
They're not going to miss a meal if somebody doesn't rent their store for 3 months.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, it's pretty, they're a lot more cut and dry.
Yeah, exactly. It's the landlord that has 1 or 2 stores that's easy to negotiate with, because this is what he's living on,
right.
Or she's living on.
Yeah, it's I can definitely agree to that. The landlords that have what they need, they're all set. They don't really want to budge.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you why Meineke Car Care Centers are the trusted choice for drivers across Charlotte and the surrounding areas. Whether you need an oil change, new brakes, or a complete engine repair, our certified technicians are ready to keep your car running smoothly. At Meineke, we believe in honest prices, reliable work, and service you can count on every time you visit. With convenient locations from Charlotte to Concord, Estonia, Huntersville, and Rock Hill, getting quality car care has never been easier. So wherever the road takes you, stop by your local Meineke Car Care Center and drive with confidence, because at Meineke, we're doing car care right.
Yeah. Right.
So when did did you work hand in hand with my dad?
Yeah.
What was his position?
I love your dad because he made me look good.
Yeah.
And you'll understand why I said that. I met Joe. I think he was a ops guy up north. Meineke, he was working for transmission. Doesn't matter.
I was Wheels and Tires.
No, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
And somehow he was hired as an ops guy northeast or someplace, and he ended up he came to Charlotte one time, whether for an operations meeting or whatever.
He worked with Carl.
Yes.
Worked with somebody else.
So I was at my desk, and he comes in and he sees a bowl of jelly beans on my desk. I always had a bowl of jelly beans. It was a way of, because at that time the people that were running the company, we called them the evil empire. But the jelly beans was like, this is some happiness.
That's like his favorite candy.
Like donuts, So
Yeah.
Joe sees the jelly beans. He comes over. He grabs. Whoa! What the hell are you doing? Inside of a half hour, it was as if we knew each other forever. When you meet somebody like that, it's like you don't know the time you didn't know them. We just became very fast friends.
That's awesome.
And we worked. Our jobs didn't overlap, but we did communicate back and forth. Well, Meineke decides to build a store on
Beatty's Ford.
I'm going to say Brookshire. Beatty's Ford Road. And leading up to that, they had the Store of the Future plan. This was their master plan to build the Store of the Future. Econolube, Lobby, and Meineke. Made perfect sense. Beautiful store. God, I wish I could have that store. Well, we're going to build one. Good. Where are you going to build it? We're looking at Ballantyne. But we think we're going to go to Beatty's Ford Road. What? No. You don't build this garage mahal on Beatty's. Do you know the demographics there? It's a good demographic, but you have to feed that demographic. You have to fit in. This doesn't fit in. It was a company-owned store. Meineke doesn't know how to run company-owned stores. Dunkin Donuts doesn't know how to run company-owned stores. Some franchisors know how to run. Those two don't. That's why they franchise them out. It was doing, I'm not going to say the numbers, but it was doing ridiculously low numbers for this giant store. I knew what the rent was.
Right.
Manager after manager after manager. They offered it to an existing franchise here in Charlotte. He wanted no part of it because the rent was so high, scared everybody off. How Joe became a candidate for that store, I don't know. I'm not going to take credit for saying, I can take credit for saying, this is the guy you want running that store. He fits that demographic. He knows how to talk to, quote, I hate this, those people, but he's going to make that.
I remember it was Mike Baden that vouched for him. Yeah. And then, so you were on the corporate side.
Yes, I was on
Mike
the
Baden
corporate
was on the
side.
franchisee side.
So we're going back and forth, and my memory is awful, but Joe, I think you can buy this store. They'll sell you this store. I got a few bucks. I don't have a lot of money. Let me see what I can do. Paul Clayton was the brand president then. I don't know if you knew. Okay, love the guy. He was a car guy. Imagine that.
Yep.
Imagine that. He was a car guy. Well, Paul and I sat down and talk. And he said, you want me to what? I said, I want you to lend this guy money or put him on a note to run the store. It will benefit us big time. He'll pay us fees. He'll pay the rent. We don't have to pay rent anymore. As soon as this guy takes over, we save X amount of dollars a month. Instantly, we're ahead. That day, instantly. You want us to... The percent was high. I remember I told Paul Clayton, I said, if it doesn't work, I'll quit and I'll run that store. This is the guy you need to run the store. Joe, I think we got a deal. The first week he was there, he doubled the sales of the previous week. And by the fourth week, it was high 20s.
Yeah, we were doing almost.
Then the low
30
30s.
Yeah.
It was doing.
Yeah, it went from closed to doing
6,000 a week, 4,000 a week.
Yeah.
To doing 30. I hate to throw numbers out, but
No, I was doing over $100,000 a month.
But then, yeah. So I would walk by Paul and, all right. So then, of course, your dad being your dad. All right, what's next? Joe, you've been in the store 6 months.
Sure.
Calm down. No, I want another store. I don't remember.
Bruce Gross.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Holly.
That's right.
I don't know where he went off to, but beautiful store. Another ground up location, and they negotiated that, and that ended up being our second location. And then we bought the 4 from Ryan after that.
Yeah.
And it's just been it was a God-given moment. Without those words to Paul, like, we wouldn't be here, without the help from Mike, we wouldn't be in these situations.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me what you just said. Corporate's going to benefit from it. Well, they're making good money right now with 13 thriving locations. So
it has to be beneficial. Every negotiation has to be beneficial for both. What's in it for me? What's in it for the franchisee? What's in it for the franchisor? And for the franchisor, it was easy. They wanted no part of that store. It was a nightmare.
Put all the top of the equipment in there. And they made it look like a Starbucks.
Theft and fights and police department and low sales, and it was awful. It was absolutely awful. And a couple of franchisees turned it down. That they just didn't. The rent was crazy. But the rent is affordable if you're doing enough money. That's just, that's simple math.
Definitely.
But I knew, to ask me now why I knew that, I don't know. But at the time, to me, it was a no-brainer. I knew your dad was the guy to run that store.
Wow, that's awesome.
And he made me look good for a period of time.
That's awesome. Well,
and then the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, Jerry.
I enjoyed this. I was kind of, I have to say,
pick it up.
little little nervous and
No.
apprehensive about this, but
I know you're a Corvette guy. We got to get up.
I do.
And
Yeah.
hit the Corvettes on
I
the
still
highway.
got my vet.
Yep. So
Yeah.
thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Castor, thank you.
Thank you.